So welcome to another N-scale diversion here at Newcastle Central. So if you're new to the channel, although my main focus of the channel is going to be on Newcastle Central and double O gauge, I do also do some amount of US modeling in N-scale. So I have a little bit of a shelf layout based on some T-track modules, and I got some previous videos that I'll link to, building up a T-track module and some of the scenic work that I've been doing. So this is a shelf layout that I've got out in the train shed. Sits above Newcastle Central. You can maybe just about see some of the lines curving way in the bottom corner there. So if N-scale stuff and US trains aren't really your thing, then just skip over this video. I've said this before in other ones. If you really just care about double O gauge and British Rail and stuff like that, please do stay subscribed to the channel, but just skip over this video. But anyway, there are a lot of people that are interested in some of the N-scale stuff, and I'm pretty excited about some of this N-scale stuff that I got as well. I went to visit family in north central Iowa over Christmas time, and about 45 miles away, the main city, Waterloo, Cedar Falls, they're kind of right next to each other. I found a real hole-in-the-wall model train store. This place had been open for 46 years when I talked to the owner, and it was just, floor to ceiling of all different types of trains, all US based, but a lot of HO gauge, N-scale, even like some garden railway. So a whole mix of stuff going back to 50s and 60s, real old kind of stuff that really wasn't my kind of thing. But they had an awful lot of HO gauge, which I was very tempted by, but what I've been wanting to try and do is really expand on my N-scale stuff, specifically the stuff up in the Pacific Northwest. I think I've showed the Milwaukee Road Olympian Hiawatha in a previous video, which was a 9-car passenger set pulled by an FC, P, A, and B unit. But what I really wanted to do was kind of expand out and do some Great Northern, do some Northern Pacific, and a little bit more Milwaukee Road as well. The problem is that up in the Pacific Northwest, around the Seattle area where I'm at, pretty much all the other modelers want to do the exact same thing. So getting a hold of rolling stock can get a little bit expensive. One of the main manufacturers over here is a company called Microtrans. And they make really, really detailed locomotives, but also mainly rolling stock is what they do. Their coupling system is pretty good, and the wheels that they have, so they get pretty pricey. Most Microtrans, brand new, you'll be looking at $20, $25, $30, somewhere in that kind of range. And even then, picking up used, they tend to hold their value pretty well. You're looking at $15 to $20 probably. But anyway, in this little hole in the wall, the Caboose Stop Hobbies in Cedar Falls, Iowa, the lady there had just picked up a pretty large estate sale. I guess someone had passed away, unfortunately, which is somewhat common in the hobby, and so basically all of the rolling stock, locomotives, whatever, was put up for sale. And it just so happened that she ended up with a whole bunch of Great Northern, Northern Pacific, and they've got a bunch of Milwaukee Road kind of sitting off to the side there. So I picked this up. I think I averaged $7 a car. Most of the cars were $8 a piece. There were some that were only $3, $4, $5 maybe, that don't have Microtrans couplers on them. So I think I ended up with 35 cars in total. And I think all but about 5 of those are Microtrans branded. Actually, maybe there's 6 or 7 that aren't Microtrans branded, but only 4 or 5, I think, that didn't have Microtrans couplers. So the ones that were Roundhouse, and there was 1 or 2 Atlas as well, they'd already been converted over to Microtrans. So very, very happy overall with what I ended up with. So the T-track module in the background is all still Union Pacific, but I've ended up with a bunch of Great Northern, Northern Pacific, and then that Milwaukee Road stuff as well. So I want to do a few shots just of all this kind of stuff running by, and a little bit of a kind of meet the fleet as well, I guess, just so that you can see some. Everything's going to be getting pulled by this new loco that I got. Again, I was very, very happy with this. This is a Great Northern livery, but it's an EMD F3. This is an A unit. You do get a B unit as well, which doesn't have a cab in it. It's just, it would be getting hooked up to an A unit. And the Milwaukee Road Olympian Hiawatha that I've showed in the previous video, that's an A, and then a B unit of an FP7. This is an F3A, so a little bit earlier. This was specifically just for freight. There's no steam generator in here that was needed to then heat up the passenger cars. I found this for $25. Very, very happy with that. So I will be expanding, and I'll probably switch this over to an F7 maybe, NB unit. It's one of the relatively new within the last year or two Kato units, but this is the Kato F3A. Runs very, very smoothly on DC, so I'm going to put in a DCC decoder into this. Otherwise, very happy with that. But yeah, the Northern Pacific set of cars. I think I got 12 Northern Pacific cars, and I got 11 in total Milwaukee cars. 3 of them they need to have the trucks, the wheels, and the couplers all replaced. So I think there's only 8 that are getting pulled around. But this Great Northern F3A will also be pulling the Northern Pacific, and it'll be pulling the Milwaukee coaches. But just so you can get an idea of some of the cool new pickups that I had found to run around on the N scale there. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of that running around. If you do like this N-scale stuff, then there are a couple of other videos that I'm doing. I had mentioned in the kind of Christmas video that I did a week or so ago that we're coming up into train show season out here in Seattle. So the next couple of months, probably not going to be doing an awful lot on Newcastle Central. It's mainly going to be N-scale focused. So I've got this one more T-track module. I've still got some scenic work to do on the back there for what will be a freight yard. But I got this building finished up. I do have lights in it, I just don't have it wired up. I don't have any of the lights in the buildings turned on. But this building is now all detailed up. It's been weathered up a little bit. It's got some signs on it. And it does have lights in there. So my main focus is going to be finishing up this one T-track module. And then we've got a show coming up here in about 3 weeks' time. And I think the following week there's another show, and then at the end of February there's a big show, a big 2-day show that I help put on, the club that I'm a part of. So the next couple of months, probably going to do a little bit more of the N-scale diversion videos. But do subscribe and follow along if you're enjoying this N-scale stuff. And I guess if you're following along for the N-scale stuff and you don't really like the double gauge British Rail stuff, then again, just ignore those videos. At some point I may well split out the channels because I've got a little bit something else coming in scale 2 within the next week or so. Maybe just do a video on that, and so at that point we may well see, okay, am I going to keep doing a whole bunch of N-scale stuff as part of Newcastle Central double O gauge? But at least for now, I hope you've been enjoying this. Let me know what you think, and we'll be back soon. Probably a little bit more N-scale stuff, but hope everyone's having a good Christmas. Everyone has a good New Year, depending on when you're watching this, and take care.